Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another stream. Yeah, let me close that. Let me actually change my status here. Not that I get notified. Alright. Yeah, Hey Bogo. I was not here for almost a week. Mostly had some internet issues last week on Thursday, I think, and then yeah, Friday I kinda didn't feel like it because I had a little bit of a headache, and then Saturday, Sunday I spent some time on the project, like off stream, preparing it for a release. So sorry for that, but we are close. Thank you. And hello, Captain Chica. But we are close. Not quite there yet. My plan was to release it this week, today, basically. But I had some issues with the CMake, but I think I figured out most of it. But it still held me up a little bit. So I'm not quite there yet, but we're almost there. And I think like this weekend I will spend another time, and then we should be there, because CMake is now mostly fixed. There is one small thing that I need to still address, and then a couple of smaller bug fixes that I still have on my list, but yeah, they should be quick. So I think a release next week, Tuesday, is doable. Which is kind of fits the time plan that I had, to release it in the first quarter of 2025. Alright. That being said, today we will work on the game a little bit. Well, not really on the game, but on tech for the game. But I wanted to show as well what's different, what I did basically in CMake, and yeah, basically what's different from before and why I spent some time. So basically what I did is that we have the engine now here. Well, that's that's the wrong branch, but bear with me, I will go to the correct branch. So basically we moved, before the game project was in here, so I kind of removed that. So the game engine project itself is now clean of anything related to a game. And then in a game project, so for example here, my game project, the only real thing you would need to do once the repository is up is either use fetch content, or yeah, CPM is a wrapper around fetch content. You don't need to use that. You can as well get this, there will be instructions anyways for that. You can get the repository locally as well, just with the normal git repro. You don't need to use fetch content or this. And yeah, that's about it. And then you can link your project basically against the engine. So if we have here code CMake, well, I think it's in dependencies probably, right? So yeah, here I link against Onyx, and that's it. And that basically makes everything work out of the box, just with that and the link targets, right? And then there's a couple of options, and that's the thing that I want to figure out this weekend. Is there's a couple of options that are part of CMake currently, which will stay in CMake, but I want to first of all comment them a little bit more in the readme. But one interesting part is, for example, this symlink thing. What that basically does is what I recently added, because Onyx comes, the engine itself comes with a couple of data files for the editor, right? Layouts for the editor, icons for the engine, and some input file, as well as some basic shaders as well. And if you include it with fetch content, for example, then the engine actually ends up in a dependencies folder somewhere in the CMake structure, right? So you would have your data in here, like temp out dependencies, blah, and then data. And those are the data files. And that's kind of hard to understand, I guess, where the data is and stuff like that. So what CMake does, or like what I added that CMake does with this option, is basically in your game project, in your data folder for your game project, which you define currently here, but it's actually automated to the root of the CMake file, so it will be automated. You don't need to set anything for that. It creates here a symlink to the data directory of Onyx. And you can see it looks like it's directly under your data directory, but in reality, those are the files in the CMake folder. So if you edit one of those, you basically edit the engine source files, which is fine because we will patch some stuff, right? Yeah, symlinks are kinda itchy a little bit on Windows, but yeah. I don't know. You can disable it. It's not mandatory to do it. I thought it's quite nice to have it. But it's optional. You don't need to do it. So the plan is that if you disable this, a file gets generated that points to the right path that then gets included in the project to point to the right directory for the engine stuff. Basically a configure file on CMake. But yeah. That's basically that. Alright. But yeah. No, I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, this thing has like in Windows 32 kilobytes or what? Like this shortcut thing. Fascinating that it's so huge. I didn't know. Again, that's an optional thing, so you don't need to use it. Alright, so for today what I wanted to do is look at the volumetric terrain. Maybe we start with cubical marching squares. It's in the title, but I'm not sure if we will get there, but we will try. Because the first thing I want to do is probably add a debug window that I can use to debug all of that. Okay. Alright, that kind of sucks, but yeah. I think I don't really care about that. It's up to the user if he wants to use that symlink or not. And the path to the files will anyway be stored with a real link. It's just a convenience here in the data directory to get there. So the question is, where do we do that? Debug visualization. We could do it in Onyx volume, I guess. No. Let me quickly check. So if we go to Onyx modules, volume dependencies, it links game core, but game core itself, Ah, okay, that one links UI. That's how we got the UI in. Okay, I see. So we could do the debug window in here, I guess. But we would still need to show it somewhere. Could as well add it to the game project. That might be a little bit cumbersome, not sure. Where would I want that? Is that something engine specific? Maybe not, because I think we will throw that away again, that debug window. It's just for testing. Did I not move them? Those are... Those should have been already moved. Oh well. Where is that living? Oh, that's probably in the editor, yeah. That one is in as well editor. That's fascinating. I think that will be something for Saturday then as well, moving those away. Alright, let's do one thing first. That's definitely not a mistake. Go to our game project and create I don't know. Do we want to name it like that? Maybe. I don't know. And maybe we create our ImGUI window then here, it doesn't really matter. Again, as I said, it will probably it will probably anyways disappear again. That and then alright, and then we add those files here. Of course, forgot what it was called, or did I just create that in the root folder? I think, right? I didn't, yeah. That's not how I would want it. And now we will get some errors, because that's the thing that I want to address on Saturday, because CMake is not entirely working. That's like the 1% that's missing with like the external dependencies, because it complains a little bit about some targets, but it works. It's just some stuff that I do, I think, not 100% correct. So it complains about that, but usually, yeah, exactly, it generates just fine. It's just that, yeah, there's some weirdness going on. Where is my header? Ah, no, it's here. I'm just blind. Never mind. Okay, namespace. I do think here we have not really a lot. It's just an init. And that's about it. So used to writing Onyx as the namespace. And here, or we need to do the like the volume debug window. That's I think it was a good choice. I didn't go for game industry when I started working. My engine went from Vulkan to OpenShare to DirectX to Vulkan to DirectX to software to what? What? Why would you go to software? That's the biggest thing I would ask. The others I can kinda understand. All the others I can totally relate to. Ah, okay. MScript needs like a software version or what? Or MScript is running in software or what? I have not really looked too much into MScript. I know what it is and what you use it for, but I've never used anything of it, so yeah, I'm not. Oops, that's a private one, right? Okay. Don't tell me that. I wanted to use it for Onyx as like the web version, but I mean that's way down the line. But maybe not then. And then let's do ImGUI begin probably, right? How do we do the other ImGUI windows? Which one do we have? The scene view, right? So it's basically that, which is kind of ugly, but okay. I think we need to get window name then, right? I decided to drop web support as primary goal for now and made my life 100 times easier. Yeah, that's why it's not on my list as well, like urgently. Because I don't think it really is that important. And we go here. I want here we can do a forward declare. And then here we do the include. And then imgo is system add window. Volume debug window. We don't need any input for now. If your engine can compile with Clang natively, you could drop mscript. Didn't try it, but let's just say maybe it works with Clang. I don't know. Yeah, probably right now not anymore. Back in the day it was. I had like a Linux build job, but my build system kind of broke down on GitLab. So probably currently it doesn't build anymore on Clang or GCC for that matter. What? Oh, we didn't. We're not using that, so. So in theory, oh well, no, in theory nothing, because we are not adding our system. SOC could come into play if you don't mind writing some subset of standard. Nah, I'm not sure if I like that. I don't know. That's so weird. Yeah, the imGUI stuff is still a little bit. But I have a colleague who like really swears on SIG as well lately. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe eventually. Alright, so we have our debugger here. Good. So we will hack a lot of stuff into this window. To test our volumetric. Basically test how the cubical marching squares generates. Before plugging it into the scene view, because debugging it in the scene view is kinda hard. So what I would want to do is probably, let's see, so first I want to do an imGUI plot. imGUI plot 3, I have no idea what it's called. This one. So how was it again? We want to do basically that. And then we can include that, and we have, yeah, let's do that again, but have just 3, 3, 3 for now. And we do that again, which is kind of stupid, but yeah, basically that will be our vertex array, right? And then we end our plot. And that's it. Okay, well, oh. If you make try to access outside the bounds, then you will have not a lot of luck. Alright, so that works. So we have that, which is perfect. You swear by Golang lately. Yeah, I wanted to... I pack it like... it's already quite long ago. I think it's like almost 5 years ago or something like that. I did a little bit of like trying to get like a feel for Go. But yeah, I never really got that deep into it. But not because I didn't like it, just mostly because I, just didn't get to it too much besides work. So I want two plots basically, like one 2D and one 3D. Or do I want a 2D one? I don't think actually I need a 2D one, never mind. But I wanted to look at what the 3D version offers. It has quad plots, so that's pretty good. It's the same, yeah, that's the same, right? Okay. That's fine, that's a quad, okay. Yeah, I want to probably have something like that. Maybe. I could as well have like a line plot, maybe. I want this one, right? This arrow basically, that would be nice to have. Plot line. But how do we then do more than that? How do I set like the marker for it? That next marker style. Maybe I shouldn't have closed that. Can I not search here? Oh my god. That would have been too nice, right? Oh, maybe I can? No, I can't. Man, it probably is not so hard to find. Marker, exactly. There is a marker thing, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we can't really... Would have been nice if you can have the marker in the direction of the line, but I guess it's not too easy to do with that one. It's not a big deal. I don't know. What does that do? Does it even do something? Oh, okay. Well, it does actually. I think that white thing is my marker probably. Yeah. But there are already markers, so that's kind of fascinating. Which I'm not quite sure why there are markers already. Oh, what can you... Ah, maybe it's those, right? The plot scatter. That's like the markers. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I think that was it, yeah. Okay. Alright. Can I make it that I can click those markers? Probably not, right? It's not a big deal that we cannot click it, but would have been maybe nice. But let's try to get the volumetric stuff in here. So what I want to do is basically first take probably a look at the volumetric stuff. So what I want to debug is basically not this part, because I don't really care about that. Is it an isosurface? Nope. Where is it? Do we use that line segment somewhere? Probably not. Oh, marching squares CMS. That looks not so bad. And we give it some corners and some Hermite data, which makes sense. Which basically is just I think we can kind of fake that. And then we have like some outline segments. Let's see if we can do that. So what we want to do is get one of those objects here basically. damn it. Where is my view? That's not the one. This one. Marching squares. CMS, but that one is like just the lookup table, right? Yeah. So that's not it. It's just marching squares surface. What's the difference between that and the, oh, well, that is okay. Oh, that one is the wrong one, right? That one is wrong. Yes, it's marching squares surface. It's that basically, okay. Okay, we need a distance. Which I'm not sure what is that used for. Oh, okay, that's yeah, it's whatever. Not really important. And now we give it a face index. Oh yeah, that is the thing, and then 4 corners, and we give it a vector 4f format data, which I kind of have to refresh my mind again. What exactly? It's the gradient and the distance to the surface. But not sure if we will get a nice thing about that. Now we have outline segments, but that is like, yeah, 24 line segments at max, which I think is wrong, but I think what we do is it's 24 line segments in total for all cube faces. So that's why because we accumulate them together, I think. Basically, we push that in, we push that in, we push that in. And we get something out. Then I would want to draw plot a quad which, yeah, here I cannot really. And then int count is 4. And I am plot 3D quad flags. Let's do none. Oh, wait. There is a stride. Does that mean I can give it that? Not really, probably. That would have been nice. Maybe I could make it work. But let's copy it over. It doesn't really matter. I can do a dynamic array. Let's do that simpler by pushback. We could actually, hold on. Do we even need? Yeah, let's do 0, 1, 1, 0 as like the X. We will probably need more than that, maybe. So we leave out set for now, right? Then we go from 0 to 0 and then 1, 1. That would be kinda it. I'm not sure if that horribly fares because it might expect more coordinates. Warning the errors. God damn it, why did I do that? Okay. Maybe I don't even need that. What is vertex? Do we even need that? Oh, we do. But what is the vertex used for? And I think, is there a thing in... Oh, we have a vertex here, never mind. Okay. we can just include that. Is it STD numbers? Pi. Is it like without? Yeah, okay. Let's see. What does that give us? Do you maybe know what is the overhead difference between DSA and non-DSA buffers when it comes to user space facing graphics API? Nope, not really. But let me quickly Google that again, because I don't actually know that abbreviation. Direct state access. But I never really did a lot of OpenGR, so I can't really... Is that OpenGR specific? It looks a little bit OpenGR specific. And I've never done OpenGR, to be honest. So... yeah, I've never actually used that. Yeah, I actually have never used OpenGR, so I didn't even know about that. Sounds interesting. So I cannot help you with that. I have no idea about OpenGR. Alright, so we have that. I really don't like that we have... Oh, but that make... No, actually it doesn't really make too much sense, but it's fine. We can just flip those. Because I'm not sure if... Okay, yeah, cool. So that is our quad. Okay. I'm not quite sure why it changed like the dimension, but okay. So the question is, can I come up with some debug data, or do I really need to create a volumetric source for this? I hope I don't need to. basically I want to do exactly the same thing here. So basically we have 0.0 f, 0.0 f, like that. And then the next corner we go 1 in the x direction and we stay the same. Then we go 1 into the z, and then we go that's 1 1, right? And then we go 0 1. Could be it. And then the Hermite data, that one is a little bit, yeah, sus basically. I'm not quite sure what I put in here, to be honest. Into the first 3 at least, I'm not sure what to put in there, but I think it's not too important. If, for example, I put the first corner as 1, then we should get like 1 diagonal line, I think. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, that would be nice if we can maybe do that a little bit different, but okay. How do we do that? Beautiful cast to int here. And then, yeah, we need to basically, for each line segment, let's do an auto. In our outline segments, we push back, get from, add 0, what does that give us? plus an interpolated scalar. What did I do here? That line doesn't make any sense. For your information, our DSA versus non-DSA NVIDIA. DSA better performance AMD, non-DSA better performance on integrated DSA on discrete GPU, and Intel has mix mash. Ah, that's great, right? It's so fun to do like cheap, like shader and graphics programming. How the hell did I... Right, so that's a vec 4, and then we do that minus that times interpolated, because we don't have the other way around, and then we need to basically take a vec 4 for that, like a vec 3 I mean. So basically we do vector 3t of that result, and that should do it. And then here we have vector t cross that. And that is a dot. Cross is not a member of vector 2. Did I remove that? I mean, maybe. Because it's kinda a stupid thing to do anyways. Oh yeah, I did. All I know is don't use geometry shader unless it's Intel hardware. Actually, I've not seen a geometry shader in a while. Meshlets and mesh shaders, yes, but geometry shaders, I think I've never seen one being actually used. Isn't the cross in 2D just XY swapped and then one inverted? I mean, the cross product in 2D is kinda garbage, usually. But... what do I want to get here out, actually? God damn it, where was it? Oh, okay, no, we want to get a scalar out. Okay, then we actually can implement that. And I think it is actually what we had there already. I think that is the cross product. I think I leave that, or don't. T. Floating point scalar T. Dot T. Do I need to do a dot T here for the cross? Potentially. Because it could overflow. But whatever, we leave that. Not important right now. I had to write geometry shader at work like 2 weeks ago for whatever reason. Font rendering. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Didn't really... Again, I'm not a full-fledged graphics programmer, so... But... yeah, at Snowdrop there was not a single geometry shader, for example. That one I know for sure. So in like a whole AAA project there was none. And I think even Snowdrop didn't even support geometry shaders. Because... yeah. I think I was told that they are kind of slow and bad most of the time. But not 100% sure if I remember that correctly. Was it 3 people that have like an inter card or what? The following is treated as an error. Why do we have... oh man, this is so bizarre. I have here a value that I'm not sure what it's used for, because like that code is like... last time I looked at that is probably 2020. That's how old this whole volumetric stuff is. Because I kinda put it on hold. Didn't really use it. Is it that? No, it's .t, right? Yeah. I think we could do an auto here actually. I think that is one of the use cases where we could use an auto. A couple of errors here and there because we don't really... What is that even? Okay. Projection. Man, I tell you, there is stuff here that I have no idea when I wrote that. And why. I mean, I know what that class is doing, more or less, but... That's like, yeah, so long ago. It's insane. Oh, we build. I think that was the reasoning, right? As well, that I heard, Captain Chica. It's like, why would you do that if you have like compute shaders? I think something like that was the reasoning, but I'm not 100% sure, as I said. But I think it was something along those lines. So, well, that didn't really work how I would want it to work. So I guess we don't get any line segments out, yeah. And it's probably because even though MS case is 15, but 15 would be everything filled. Oh wait. No, but even then, that doesn't make sense. Because isn't 3 3? And 0 3. Hold on, let me think. 0 is the surface. So probably we need to do a couple of them -1, basically inside, 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 right? And that one is outside. Okay, now we have a case, perfect. And we get something and then we get a 0 length vector, perfect. Exactly what I would want. So the edge crossing from position. Ah, the normals. Yeah, that is a... You know what? We will just put in some garbage data here. Because I don't really care about the normal, I think, in those cases currently. So even though it's not a normalized vector, I think I don't care. Because I'm really not... Okay, so we get one line segment. Oh, where is it? Ah, there it is. But why is it? Oh, okay. Why? Let's do one thing, which is this one. Let's move that a little bit back, so either like that, I don't know. Either it's positive direction or negative direction, that we need to move it a little bit back. Yeah, don't worry, I mean, I wasn't here as well for a while. Let's move it actually a whole unit back. That didn't really work. Do I maybe... Oh, where we need... No, that's the X coordinate. That's the Z coordinate. Maybe we need to move it here back. That's probably... And then let's do plus 0.5. I don't know. It's getting there, it's getting there. Let's... Okay, well, that's not really how I imagined my line segment to look. So yeah, we are working on the volumetric stuff currently, and Onyx is coming along quite well. Yeah, I wasn't streaming for like the last 7 days. I had some internet issues last week, so that was one reason why I didn't stream during the week a lot. And then on the weekend I was focusing on preparing the project for like releasing the engine source code, even though I have to put the disclaimer out there, right? I'm the only person working on it, so it's I mean, I cross-checked that it compiles and runs on a different machine, but once I release it, I cannot like guarantee that it like runs like flawlessly on other machines, but I will try to support like people if they want to get it running and it doesn't work. But I will try to get it as stable as possible before that, which is this weekend. I will basically do the last push before the release of the source code. Yeah, and then I showed it at the start of the stream today, but basically what you need to do in your project, then either you get the source and you CMake build it and then link it to your project however you desire. But the easiest one would be to use either like CMake fetch content, or I will have a tutorial how to use the CPM, which is basically just a wrapper around fetch content. And then you give it the repository that the source code is released on, plus yeah, the git tag for the release, or like none and just a branch if you want to always have it up to date. And that's it, and then you can already just... Where is it? Is that... Ah, that's the one. And then you just link to whatever project of Onyx you want. Most of the time you just need those 3, and then your project should run with that. That's the plan. Maybe I will even... Like, I think that one is even not needed, so it's just that I think that you need. because the profile I want, it's, yeah. And then you have a project with Onyx that should boot to this start scene, and you would have yeah, that's the plan, that it's like as simple as possible to integrate, but let's see how that turns out. So I think what I might do is actually swap that, just because we have our, in like the rendering of the graph is the y-axis is, it seems like the z-axis is up. I'm not sure if I can change that in IronPlot 3D, if there is some sort of where is my, what the hell is going on? Whatever. Let's see what Visual Studio comes up with. I'm not sure what it does. Not quite sure why I decided to recompile everything. Fascinating. So yeah, currently trying to add a debug view for cubical margin squares algorithm. So basically I want to be able to toggle edge, like corners of a cube, and then see what my cubical margin squares spits out as line segments. How did I break that now? What exactly did I do? That's not the project. What? How did I manage that? Let's regenerate that. There's something missing in the data folder which is currently needed. But that's something I want to address on Saturday, right? Ah, it failed to generate. Cannot find volume debug window, but what exactly did I do? How did I... Holy, what did I manage to break here? Here. Oh. How did I make? Fascinating. I must have pressed something that kind of broke it, but I'm not quite sure what exactly. Okay, so I think that works. Yeah, it generated, I think, correctly. The errors currently in CMake are something that I will address, as I said, on Saturday. It's something with the export targets, not entirely, like not 100% correct, but it creates a solution. So it's more like false positive or like warnings, but yeah, I want to get rid of those. Well, yes and no. That thing that I'm currently doing is for the game because I want to have volumetric terrain in the game. So basically I'm trying to get cubical margin squares working, which was the last thing that I did on like trying to get working on the volumetric terrain 4 years ago or something like that, and then I stopped. So I will try to get that running. Basically isosurface generation using, instead of marching cubes, cubical marching squares, which is just a little bit more advanced algorithm. And then we will build an editor around that, like not a whole editor, like just that you can paint like terrain, right? And then we can do like a word for the game with that. So we build a little bit of tools for the game, basically, so that we can do stuff. That doesn't look correct. Yeah, that's probably garbage, right? That we do that. The problem is the line didn't look correct either. Oh, I mean, in my opinion, that is wrong. I'm not entirely sure if it's wrong, but it looks wrong. Mostly because under my, it should be a line like that, in my opinion. Unless it's something, is it maybe that, how do we do that again? Do we get the corners? It's fascinating that we have like debug here, which not quite sure what that is used for. Okay, well, probably that is the whole debug stuff, because those are not used, or are they? Oh, they are used. Okay. Ah, okay. I see. Okay. And then we have a case. And our case is 1, which is this one. Which is, yeah, something like that. It should be something like that. Right, yeah. And we go from edge 3, which is the bottom one, right? To edge, well, like this, exactly. We have like an edge that... Oh, wait, but then... That does not look too wrong, right? It's just the position that is off. Because it should be here. It's just that the... It's just that our position is kind of busted. So our line segment goes from 0, 0 and 0.5 in the Z. And now we have 0.05 in the X. I mean, that actually doesn't look too wrong. So, oh yeah, okay. That's 0.5. That's minus 0.5, and then this is plus. Now we do the same here, basically. Mostly that we have it aligned. Again. And then can I have a color here? Next color map. What's that push color map? Push star color maybe? Maybe line. Or fill. Maybe fill. Let's see what comes out like that. That looks better. I think. Because that's exactly now, like, yeah. I mean, the perspective doesn't work right, but I do think that is correct. Probably the easiest one would be if we move that very, very close in the Z coordinate. We could even do it like... Wait, what? Or was it not this? What is going on? How does this work? Okay, and now I'm a little bit confused. Which one is which coordinate? But yeah, I mean, that looks nice. That looks how it should behave. And now if we do, for example, the opposite corner of that. So that's this one, and then we do... I think it should be this one, so the third one. So if we move that one outside as well, then we should have like 2 lines, hopefully. Ah, or yeah, okay, that can work as well, like that. It really depends now, and we need to make that a little bit better, I guess, to debug. But yeah, that works as well, right? Because it could be that, right? I guess. I think I need to maybe remove the Hermite data for now, or make like a debug thing that makes it easy for me to set it. Which case does it think we are? It thinks case 5, which is one of those. Is it because... Wait, how many lines do we push out? Maybe it's just because the debug renderer, right, combines the lines. If we only get 2 lines out, then everything is fine anyways. Okay, yeah, we do only get 2 lines out. So I think it's... You know what? We actually don't do that. We always plot our line segments here individually. And actually then we can always do an in-place array of 2. Because we always have like a from and a to. And we have 2 here. And then we don't combine the 2 lines. That should now give us the 2 lines, hopefully. Or maybe not. Hey. Oh. Should probably do it in here, just so that we don't have to. I mean, we could clear it all the time. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so yeah, that looks better, right? That looks exactly how it should. Basically this and this is the surface. Like the blue line is the surface line. So that looks good. I think what I would want to do next is maybe render all the cases. And maybe even do like a 3D version or something like that. Yeah, I need to think about that a little bit more, how I would want to do the debug, but that is close to, I think the green thing in the background is not very useful. I think what makes more sense is if we, for example, for each corner, marker, okay, plot marker, okay, no. How can I do just one dot basically? That the plot scatter? What is I mean, maybe. Isn't that? I mean, that should probably be. Oh, well, actually, we can do corner, right? Now we do one. That doesn't work, but that's like a. Do I really need a float vector here? That's like disgusting, not gonna lie. I mean, we can probably put all the corners into one array, but I don't know if I want that. I just want to see what comes out there first. If that even does what I want to do. Is that now a dot? Oh, okay, yeah, that is a dot. Okay, cool. And then basically we want to get rid of the quad for now. And then this is marker fill maybe? Okay, yeah. And yeah. Want to put that here, put that here. And then if our and then here we have our corner is our corners at the corner index. And then format data at our corner index. And is that not a pub? No, it is a public. Basically, if it is that, then we do it green. Otherwise, we make it blue. Or, okay, it's red. Let's actually make that white if it's not, like basically if it's in the air we make it white. Oh, wait, that was black. That was black, really? Am I like 1, 2, 3? I was missing one or what? Yeah. Okay. So basically this is inside, right? Green is inside, and then we have those, which is air. And then we do the same in 3D for the other cube points. And then we see how we build edges across all the faces, basically. That would be the idea. That already doesn't look too bad. But that is like a super simple case, right? I mean, to make that. I do think though that that is already an ambiguous case, right? Is it? It might be, yeah, exactly. That one is already an ambiguous case. Because yeah, it can be like this, or where like this is inside, or it's the other way around where it's basically, yeah, like rotated like that. Because it could be combined like that as well. So either there's air in between or it's connected. And you just have to choose one basically. And be consistent with it. Alright. So I guess, for example, we now have that one inside as well, then we should have like 3 line segments basically. Or 1? Oh yeah, 1, right? Because yeah, that actually makes sense, because only that one is inside, the other ones are all... I mean, that depends, right? Oh, we did that. Wait, if it's greater than... Yeah, okay, I think white currently actually means inside with that check that we do here, but it's fine. Because I think minus is minus or plus inside? That's another thing that I don't really know anymore. Sphere. DSG sphere. So my gradient is my position minus the center of the sphere, so a positive is outside and minus is inside, right? No, negative is outside. Negative is outside. Based on that, right? Because if my length is bigger than the radius, then this becomes minus, but then I'm outside because I can't be inside if I'm not within the range of the radius, right? So positive is inside, negative is outside. Yeah. Which is where it makes sense, because I think in here, right, we check for anything that is greater than 0. So anything greater than 0 is inside. Yeah. I think though I'm a little bit tired today. I will leave it at that tomorrow, and tomorrow we release stream. I'm not as lazy as I was last week, and hopefully my internet works, but looks fine again. It was only one day where it was kind of weird. We will do the other cube faces and we move that into the 3D world basically, because currently that's just 2D, and maybe I will look a little bit how I can maybe make this a little bit more interactive, that we can maybe toggle like edge points, like, but I'm not sure if that's even possible with the iron plot. It is weird that it like distorts it like that. That's like not really what I would want, but that's another thing. But we can probably lock that somehow, because yeah, that's very weird. But yeah, then we do it in 3D. So basically we draw 4 more points for the other corners, and then we give it basically, we could try even a CSG sphere, right? And see what it produces. So yeah, maybe we do that tomorrow. But that's already kinda nice to have like this visualization, because we need to figure, like, we need to be sure that we generate proper line segments before we can triangulate. Because if that's wrong, garbage will come out, and debugging the mesh will be a pain if we do it like on a whole scale of like a terrain or something like that. So first we should figure out that this works, and then we can move to simple shapes like a sphere or a cube. Try that in the scene view, and then we do the terrain afterwards. And that's all on the CPU, and once that runs on the CPU and we have it working on the CPU, the plan would be to move it to the GPU, because this algorithm should be able to run on the GPU very, very nicely. Because way simpler than the dual marching cubes. So yeah, that's like the next plan for the next coming streams, which will probably take some time, because there's definitely some stuff here that probably is wrong. Because yeah, that was never finished, like this cubical marching squares for implementation. It was really, really bare bones and in the baby shoes or whatever you say, I don't know. Alright, yes, so that's that. And yeah, on the weekend, probably Saturday, I'm looking at Saturday currently, probably Saturday I'm not streaming, and we'll take another step for the release. Hopefully one day is enough, and I don't need to do Sunday as well, and then Sunday we can have a stream again, but I'm not too sure. But it should be doable in one day. There's not a lot left. As I said, it's just the CMake errors, which I kinda know how to fix more or less, but yeah, I didn't have time on the weekend for it anymore. And yeah, then I just need to create a new repository for it, because I don't really want to use the one that I currently have for the public release. Mostly because it's a private GitLab repository and don't want to make it public. That one public, but yeah, that's details. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. Have a nice rest of your evening, and yeah, tomorrow we will hopefully do a normal stream until 10 again. Just today was a little bit exhausting at work as well. A lot of meetings and stuff like that. Yeah, have a nice rest of your evening. I already said that. See you tomorrow, and bye bye.